Hey, what's up, guys? I am Flo Frazier,
Hey everyone, and I'm Sonia Fee.
and this is the Frazier House Podcast.
And thanks for tuning in to our second episode of season
Yes,
2.
absolutely. First of all, how you guys been, man? What y'all been up to? How has this year been treating you guys so far? This is the fourth month. This is April.
420.
420, right? All you weed smokers, enjoy that weed because it's been very stressful from last year to now. So enjoy yourself. But we have a great episode for you guys tonight, as always.
It's a lot to talk about.
It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot of things going on in the world right now. And we're going to jump into it. You know what I mean?
Let's get it.
Let's get to it. Let's get into the music topic for the night, guys. We had a conversation about artists, singers, rappers, live performances, and so on and so forth, right? And the first question is, what is worse, right? Lip syncing for a singer or a rapper not writing their own lyrics.
And it's interesting too. Before we dive in and I give my thoughts, I also noticed that singers don't have the pressure to write their own lyrics.
Right. I feel like singers, the way the music industry has crafted singers is a lot of the times when they're signed to record labels, they're like appointed writers and producers.
Okay.
So, these people usually come with ready-made songs. It's just like you hear it, you like it, you try out, you can change a few words and a few lines to match how you feel so you're able to deliver it better. Mm-hmm. But for singers, most of the songs are usually already pre-done. However, in the recent years, I think the last 10, 20 years, rappers have also been afforded that luxury. There are a lot of artists that just get songs emailed to them and they're like, oh shit, I like that. Let me change a few words, change a few lines on that record and put it out, and they're hit guaranteed, right?
And so in that same note, then I'm assuming the industry as well as their fans are not putting as much pressure on them to be original writers of their music.
I think with rappers right now, I don't think anyone care about who wrote what anymore.
Interesting.
Right?
Why? Because of such the low quality of music, of some music.
Not more so the low quality of music. I think because of social media, fans are able to get into artists' lives personally.
I was going to say that.
So you learn to love the person outside of the music, right? So the music can be good, bad, or whatever it is, right? But if you like what you see on social media, if you like what you see that's predicted in videos, then you like, I like this person, I fuck with them. I'm sold.
I'm already
I'm
a
good.
fan. Yeah.
I'm already good. So whether they write they write the rhymes or whatever it is, no one cares.
Can you drop a few examples?
I feel like I think
who do we know that doesn't write their music?
That doesn't write
because
their music?
Because I don't know if it's necessarily...
Cardi B is an artist that share writers. She has a few writing partners.
Beyonce full of men that writes her music.
Beyonce has a few writing partners, even though she's a singer. We just well, let's keep it to rappers, huh?
Okay.
Drake has in the past been exposed for having writing partners. I'm trying to think. I mean, there are a lot others, right? Like
So, but it's still a taboo, is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think so.
It's not a taboo. No, like it's okay, but then it's still like an unspoken understanding.
It's always been an unspoken understanding. I feel like because now that, like I said, fans don't care about. I don't think the fans really care too much about who wrote what, right? It's also about like the delivery, right? Like for example, like the Dream wrote Rihanna, wrote Umbrella for Rihanna. Rihanna's a singer, so it's a little bit different with singers. They're automatically they're given that hall pass, like
I think we brought up that we care more about their talent. Can they sing? Rather than are they skilled writers and MCs and lyricists.
Right. I mean, you got to be real about it. Like, Mariah Carey didn't write all her music. Whitney Houston didn't write all her music. Michael Jackson didn't write all his music. You know what I mean? And they have some of the biggest songs ever created, right? So, but that pressure isn't put on a singer. The pressure that is put on a singer is your singing ability.
Yeah.
When you're on stage and you're live, and either you sound like the record that you recorded, or you sound way off, and it's like, yo, you don't even sound like that person singing. Who the hell is this? And that's when singers get ridiculed.
So then that also brings us to how we came up with this topic. We were talking about
Milli Vanilli
and their lip syncing.
Yeah. I mean, that was a catastrophe, right?
That they were known, and those two singers and artists, their talent was singing. So
what we thought the talent was
their talent was supposed to be
singing, right?
And come to find out, totally different man was singing their vocals.
Yeah,
and that's an
other
issue.
people as well. The background singers and all. I mean, but you saw what happened to them, right? They've been stripped from their Grammy, stripped from any awards, like completely removed from the music industry. I mean, I believe one of the artists from that group killed himself. Like, he's dead now.
Yeah.
So it took a toll on him. But can
you imagine living with so much shame that you
don't even want to live anymore, right? And that's where we're looking at. We're wondering, what is more hurtful for an artist, right? We see that lip syncing. One guy committed suicide from being outed from lip syncing,
and a public shame associated.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. I don't know any rapper that killed themselves for being outed for not writing. I mean,
no.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because to this day, I do think it's a taboo. I do think it's still, there's a sense of shame because of the people who set the bar and are the best. Drake actually, is on the fine line, I believe, because he still writes some of his music.
He's still good as a writer.
And will be proud of the music that he has written, but then he's not going to be, in your face telling you, yeah, I've had a ghostwriter.
I had some help. I've
had some help.
I feel like I feel like a lot of rappers, this is a thing that's not spoken sometimes with rappers, right? Most artists get help. Like me, when I was signed to the labels that I was signed to, when I was really active in the music business, I had my boys in the studio. I'm recording music, and they're like, switch that word. I think if you say that like this,
and
is better.
What's so crazy is, what is the big deal with that? What is the problem with that? That every lyrical bar that's been either produced in a song or written by an artist is not all theirs. Like, there's so much inspiration, I'm sure, that comes from making music. And when you're also consistent, putting out music, trying to meet deadlines, pushing, albums, are you responsible for every single word to be authentically yours?
Yeah,
and
I think you're responsible.
Or are you not responsible, at least for the lifestyle portrayed in the song?
Nah, well, most rappers aren't living the lifestyle portrayed in the music, so that's another topic. You know what I mean? But I feel like when it comes to writing, if you're an artist or rapper, right? We're talking about rappers at this point. Either you singers that lip sync, they're outed, they're done, their careers are over. Rappers that get help writing wise cannot ever come and say they're the best. That's the problem, right?
Okay, yes, right.
When, for example, Drake can say, he's the best.
Yeah,
and then
like Hall of Fame, the best.
And then Eminem is like, nigga, I wrote all my shit. I wrote some shit for Dre. Then Jay-Z can say, well, I don't even write my shit, right? I wrote Still Dre for Dr. Dre and Snoop, both the verses. So when you have guys that do those things, and then you have someone that gets help, the person that gets help could, like, for example, if we're running a race, right? And then I'm in front of you, you behind me, and then you say, man, I'm about to sit out for a couple minutes and let my partner run for 2 minutes, catch up closer to you, and then I join back in when he come around, and now I'm closer to you, then I pass you, and I'm like, yeah, nigga, I won. And it's like, well, this man helped you.
You had
took
assistance.
5 minutes to breathe on the sideline. I've been running the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
How can you be better than me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think those type of things
because
is what,
he wore fancier shorts and had a strategy.
right.
It's like literally about delivery, and
right.
there's this strategic marketing team behind the artist.
Yeah, I think,
Do you think that counts? How do you feel about an artist having resources? Because we can make it sound really bad, or we can make it sound
everyone has
necessary.
No, not when you're claiming to be the best. There's no shortcuts from being the best. You can't take a shortcut and then say you're better than the person who did all the work. It's impossible, right? A boxer that trained 5 months, and then a boxer that trained for 12 months, and a boxer that that trained for 6 months goes into the ring.
Of course, we're gonna be mad at the ones that took steroids,
right? And he took some steroids, and he's whooping the guy that trained for 6 months, and they're like, "Oh man, the 6-month guy is better than the 12-month guy, and this guy is jacked up on some extra shit." So that type of stuff. That's why those things are frowned upon, because when you're competing for the best, you have to really be it. Kind
of reminds me of the episode we were discussing, just to kind of get you guys, to tune into our previous episodes. It's like the integrity of being the best.
Yeah.
It's very important. It's essential to evaluating the full body of work.
Yeah.
Did you get assistance? Did you, have all the tools necessary to record? Or produce whatever project. I think people also commend the artists that are working with minimal assistance.
Yeah.
Really,
I mean, always. When I think about artists and stuff, I always go back to the Michael Jackson versus Prince fight, or back and forth versus. Right.
Okay.
I think about, Prince is an artist who plays the instruments on his music. On his songs, he
writes his own music.
Write the music. He sings the music. He partner with his engineers to get the work done. And then
can't forget his style.
And
very
his style,
original.
Then you have Michael. Michael writes. Michael sings. Michael co-engineers, but Michael does not play instruments. So when you're looking at artists like that and you're comparing them, who is the better artist based on skill? Prince is.
Okay.
He has more skills to offer than Michael Jackson, right? They both dance.
When it comes to the full package.
Yeah, they both dance. They both sing. They both act in films, right? They both have classic albums. But when you're matching skill versus skill, if you have a resume of both of them, like, hey, Michael, what can you do? And Michael lists his. Prince, what can you do? And he lists his. Prince has more. So
who's Whitney Houston's I wouldn't say rival, but
rival is a good word.
Who can compete with Whitney?
Vocally, no one. Not
even Mariah Carey.
No. Mariah Carey has a very angelic, and she has the high pitch.
Okay, but
Whitney Houston's voice is more powerful.
Yeah.
Right? I think Whitney Houston and Freddie Mercury has the two most powerful voices in music, period. If you guys know someone with a more powerful voice than those two,
drop it in the comments.
In the comment. Let me know. But I think they're the artists with the most powerful voices and the higher ranges. They can go up, they can go down, they can do whatever.
Okay.
But what do you guys think? Right? What is worse?
Can we talk about lip syncing though?
You want to touch it a little bit more?
Yeah. Can we just touch on it for a second in terms of live performances and why some artists have been ridiculed a little bit harder than others, when we know that, the triple threats are the only ones, like the Chris Browns and who else? Maybe even Usher, where
Usher's
they can dance and sing and sound good at the same time, rather than, I guess Britney Spears gotten ridiculed for not being able to sing and dance, live.
But to come to her defense, right? That ridicule came later on in her career. That wasn't there. And when Britney Spears was on top of the world, none of those things existed. It didn't even, like, Britney Spears can sing and dance. Like, there's no mistaking that, right? Like, she can do both. But you can't judge an artist if they're having a bad day, right? Every artist goes on stage and have an off day where they're not performing the best, they're not giving the crowd the energy that they need, or they're not hitting the notes that they hit in the studio that day when they recorded the record.
Okay.
So I feel like in cases like a Britney Spears, they judge her based on that performance. But no, Britney's been doing this for so long.
That's
that one performance means nothing.
That's the reason why I vote, or my opinion on lip syncing during live performances wouldn't be as harsh, because there's a lot riding.
Yeah.
Even down to the lighting. Has anyone, like, no one understands the lighting and the memory and just the overall coordinates that it takes to perform live. So if there's a song or a tape playing in the back to support the artist's live performance, to entertain or give a full entertaining, performance, then
and this is the thing.
What's the big deal?
This is the thing about people who don't do music, right? That if you're performing in a stadium somewhere big, there's a lot of people there. Sometimes, right, that background vocal is not just to help you. It's also help the people all the way in the back to hear you.
Yeah.
How can they know which part of the song you're at if they might be low on energy and they're not pushing enough into the microphone, right?
Definitely.
So those things have to be considered. Background tracks are there to assist artists and help the people in the back to hear as well. It's not just to help the artist push through the notes. That's not just what it's there for. It's to help the entire place to hear and understand which point of the song they're at. Because a lot of the times with sound engineers, sometimes the beat may be over your microphone, right? This is why, when you're doing shows, you have to have a manager or your personal sound guy next to the sound guy of that venue and say, hey, crank up his mic. It's too low. They can't hear him. Bring it down. It's too much. It's pitch. It's peaking, right? So it's a lot of dynamics that goes into that outside of just, but I'm a music professional, so I know someone that just paid to see an artist want to see perfection. And if they see flaws, it give them reasonable doubt, no?
Or just puts them to work to know how to accommodate this artist that, this label is trying to push.
Yeah, it's
just,
and
gives a lot perspective to, like, this is what we have to tweak. This is what needs to be
right. And as an artist, as you do shows, you get better. You say, hey man, I need a new sound guy. My last sound guy wasn't that good. He doesn't know where to range my vocal. He don't know where I need to be above the beat or next to, so as you go, you get better people, you get more money, you're able to afford better employees to help you out and get you to where you need to be. But those things happen all the time. It's not a big deal. But when it comes to Milli Vanilli, that's a whole different ball game, right? These guys were frauds. They were frauds. The people that we heard.
Had they come out in the beginning, maybe with the transparency, that who knows if their honesty would have been a little bit, or received a little bit better. And when you're getting caught,
like on stage, and your record is skipping, like you're singing like you're really bouting out those notes, and the record is skipping, you sound totally different. You like, oh, what do I do now? The record's like going, and it's like, oh shit, what do I do now? So in a case like that, that's a disaster, right? But for the most part, I believe, from what I've seen and studied, most of these artists are who they say they are, whether they have writers or not. 9 out of 10 times, that is their voice. In this day and age, back then there's a whole different ball game. But what do you guys think? Have we missed any artists that might have lip synced and faked their careers?
Ooh.
Have we missed any rappers that have ghostwriters and faked their careers? You know what I mean? So please put a comment in there. Let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. Let's move on to music topic number 2.
Sure.
Right?
It's about my guy, Travis Scott.
Right. So we were having a conversation, right? We were wondering.
Listening to some Travis Scott.
We was listening to some Travis. And we're like, can Travis Scott top Astroworld? Well, we know he's working on Utopia which should be his next album.
Okay.
Right. We haven't heard from him in a minute.
He's brewing up something good.
Right. He's been doing clothing, so on and so forth. But my thing is, in my mind, Astroworld for Travis Scott is what Reasonable Doubt
was for Jay-Z. What?
Right? Meaning, I'm not talking about it being his first album. I'm talking about being
the album.
The album. Right? I feel Astroworld was the album for Travis Scott. Do I think he can do another Astroworld or a better Astroworld? No, I don't think so.
Damn.
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what do you think before we get to the audience? What do you think?
Honestly, I think every artist has the pattern of only producing one. Now, the person who comes to mind where he's kind of given us countless albums, great bodies of work, Kanye West.
Yes.
No one else.
Kanye's done it enough.
And this literally brings like chills to
right.
Because it's true. Like most artists are really just known. Oh no, and then Drake.
No.
Drake doesn't give us album after album.
No. Drake, you cannot compare Drake to a Kanye West. Drake doesn't.
I didn't say to Kanye West, but I'm saying that we as catchy and as great as most of Drake's songs are, he's still to me unpredictable because I still feel like he has more in him to wow us. Like he's not burning out really. What was his prime? I feel like he's just been on an ongoing.
He's still in his prime. But I don't personally. I think "Take Care" was Drake's Astroworld and Reasonable Doubt.
Ooh, let me look up "Take Care" real quick. Some of the hits, cause
right. I think that was Drake's best album. It's an album that's probably never going to be. Is not going to be topped.
Let's see, because there's more
by anything else. Right.
Interesting.
Dirty Sprite will never be topped by nothing else Future does. Culture, I think Culture for Migos.
Oh wow.
Culture 2 will not be topped. I don't think. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy will not be topped by Kanye West. You know what I mean? No. Illmatic will not be topped by Nas. Life is Good was a great album, but Illmatic is Illmatic, right? You know, Thriller, well, Jackson is dead, but still, right? If we're talking about these the work these artists have done, there's always that one. Purple Rain can never. Well, he's dead now, but I mean, if you guys don't know, Prince had about 30 or 30 something albums, so a lot more than any of us know, right? But Purple Rain isn't going to be topped. You know, and that's what I mean. Every artist has that one that is just chasing that success is impossible and will never happen again.
The chasing part is possible. It's just being successful at it.
I don't think so.
I pulled up, by the way, besides Take Care, I pulled up Nothing Was the Same by
Nothing
Drake.
Was the Same was a mixtape. It's not an official album.
Nothing Was the Same was not a mixtape.
No, that's not touching Take Care.
Nothing Was the Same.
Right, it was an album. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the other
But then
one.
Take Care was an amazing album as well. It came out in 2011, 2013. Nothing Was the Same. And then you got to... What a Time to Be Alive was great. Views was great.
Those things aren't classic music. They're just music. You know what I mean?
Drake is hard.
Yeah, but he has one like so many others. Right? Kanye West and Jay-Z and Nas.
Dang, Jay-Z's Reasonable About This.
And DMX. Else. Like I think those are the three and Eminem. Maybe Snoop. Like those guys have albums.
Yeah, Explosive. Or was that Dr. Dre?
That are, Dr. Dre, The Chronic 1, in 2002, Chronic 2001, right? No, the Chronic
Yeah.
is the Chronic, right? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like there are albums that are close, that are a comparable. Like wow, that has hits too, but no. Take Care is Drake's Reasonable Doubt.
Jeez.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is Kanye's Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like those.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like hits. If we're talking about bodies of work and collective albums, then I have
Yes,
to
those
agree.
those albums are massive when it comes to the records that are on them, right? So Astroworld has so many hits on it. Um, I don't think he can do that again.
Astroworld also gave us variety. Something that also Rihanna's able to do, or she did in her last album. Maybe that's another reason why Rihanna's taking so long. I feel like Anti.
It's the best. It's the best work.
You agree?
Yes.
Because I can't even think of the other albums. It's just like hit after hit. I was just it's so crazy because I was playing it the other day. But if you went to her concert, then you seen the creativity and the mind, the vision of the album, because so many different looks, feelings, and displays were associated with that album.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she's taking so long, because I don't even think, well, Rihanna doesn't do features. So we couldn't even say that, well, we still see her creative eye in some of the features that she paired with other artists.
I mean,
whoa.
It's yeah.
Do you want to just, it's almost like so crazy why my mind is going here, but which will help us segue into the next topic. But I feel like death kind of puts a stamp on a lot of artists and their body of work, obviously, because they can't produce anymore. But it's like, if they die young, they're also worshipped and a little bit more renowned or revered.
Sometimes.
So it's like, sometimes if they die young and they were impactful enough, then it's just like, oh my God. And then they kind of just instantly go into legend title. Remember the thought that you have behind like great artists that die young?
Yeah, I think,
you know,
I think in the recent future, like I said, the future, most recently, I think the most young legendary artist, I think that who died was XXX Tentacion. I don't think nobody else that died is close to him. None of them. None of them. None of these young guys who's been killed, rest in peace to all of them. They reach untimely deaths. None of them was him, right? And I'll listen to everybody. I'll listen to every artist. Little Peep. I'll listen to Pop Smoke. I listen to FBG Duck. I listen to what's this guy's name? How the fuck am I?
Nipsey.
Nipsey. I'll listen to guy from Texas. Mo 3. I said Mo Green. Mo 3. I listen to every artist. Every artist. I don't care, underground, middle ground, above ground, whoever. I listen to every artist and I skim through everybody's music to see what's going on. He was just the most impactful. I think he was the most legendary one, right? No one, and I always say this, no one really cared about Nipsey Hussle until he died. Like, let's keep it funky. Like, stop pretending it bullshit, right? No one cared.
Yeah,
right?
They weren't ready to put in the work.
It's just like the people that listen to Tupac's interviews after he was gone. It's like, oh my God, this guy was fucking amazing, right? So that's what they did with Nipsey. XXX was that legend type of godly figure while he was alive, right? So that's the difference with him and them.
So do you think that most artists only have one album that they're able to put out there and be maybe most known for that piece of work or that body? Or
there's usually one body of work that defines your career as an artist.
I mean, Travis Scott, even I feel like his auto-tone has always been consistent in his songs of how he creates his signature sound. But when it comes to Astro World, it's like everything, even down to the visuals, is all
Right.
psychedelic, and
Right.
it looks very hipster, but then very
It's
fun, and it's just who Travis Scott has.
Travis Scott will not get another Sicko Mode. No, there won't be another Sicko Mode. Right? There will be good records that follow that one. Sure, he's gonna make good music. There's gonna be songs like, "Yo, this shit slaps," but there will not be another Sicko
The
Mode.
reason why I probably can't fully agree with
There
that
will
is
not be another
because
box for Roddy Ricch,
the
no
reason why
matter
I
whatever
can't
song comes out.
agree with Travis Scott though is because he has artists underneath him like Don Toliver, and I think that if a guy like him, like Travis Scott, can have an eye for an artist like Don Toliver, then he also can have the eye to create for himself, especially because he's young enough.
Music is a time based and energy based. There's an energy that comes with recording albums, and I'm speaking from experience. When I was recording, I was in a space where it's all my boys, and we're running around the streets doing wild stuff. There's an energy that comes with that goes into that music. But from album to album to album, that energy changes. So when an artist is at the prime time of that energy, that's where they get that one album, where that energy is most prominent. But as you move forward in your career, it changes, it becomes less and less and less. This is why you see artists, they run, I'm going back to the hood. They try to recapture an energy that they're emotionally, financially has been removed from.
Which makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's something that's behind them that they force to recapture. But guess what? Forcing things don't work, does it? Never.
The one thing about fans is they can see through authenticity and
they can
fakeness.
Feel it.
Yeah, they can feel it.
Yeah, it's a feeling that comes. Like when DMX did Slippin', and
Rest in peace,
how's it
DMX.
going down? Rest in peace, DMX. How's it, when those records were being done, and I know some of the records are spanning different albums, there was an energy that surrounded him. It's a feeling that create that music. Music is nothing but feelings. That's why when people listen to music, they get into their feelings. It's emotionally based.
Sure.
So if that energy isn't there, it isn't there, and it's usually one time, sometimes twice in an artist's life, but no more than that. But what do you guys think? Can Travis Scott top Astro World? Put it in the comments. Let us know. Do you think Utopia is going to be better than Astro World? Is it going to match it? Is it, what is it going to do? Let us know, please.
Thank you.
And we have to wrap up the music topic, we have to say rest in peace to DMX.
Yeah, condolences to him and his family. It was heartbreaking news. Honestly, just even wanting to know what his update was for the week felt like, honestly, like it kind of gave us a little hope.
Yeah,
I like the comment that you made that there's some people that God just loves and gives chances to, and
I think
DMX
that man
was one of them.
I think he was highly loved by the man upstairs. He had a lot of chances. He's been in and out of rehab, in and out of the hospital. He's been through this more than once. Well, not through this because he didn't make it through this one, but he's been back and forth with the drugs for a long time. But I feel like, somebody as troubled as he was, it was like a matter of time. Like it reminds DMX death reminds me of Kurt Cobain's death. Like everyone knew he was troubled. Amy Winehouse, we all knew she was troubled.
Oof.
Like we all know these train wrecks. We don't want to believe it. We can't predict it. But you ever looked at someone and say, damn, bro, like you're going down this road, bro. Like I don't want to think of it being that, but like I don't see anything else.
Yeah.
I don't see any other results.
Yeah.
No ending besides this one.
Yeah, it's the pattern, And then with substance abuse, it's really a hard, chemically, physically hard thing to break.
Right. Right.
It's not even just making the decision to not want to do it anymore. Your body has now chemically depended on it and
Yeah.
has built a tolerance of wanting it, and unfortunately, those substances can take over,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
think,
deplete the body.
that guy has created a lot of great timeless music. He will be remembered forever
Also, for the man that he was,
for the
he's
man that he
you
was.
know
There's all the
very
videos that they
positive,
show of him on YouTube
and
with
with his
with his
family.
family, his kids, him riding the slingshot, like
Yeah.
yo, be a man. We did that shit. Like it's so like I was laughing looking at like
Mhm.
look at this guy, man.
Yeah.
Like he was,
Appreciating
he
him.
was someone I think he wanted to live, but I feel like his urge for the drugs was stronger than his will to wean off it.
And do you think darker incidences in his life still maybe ran in through his head to abuse on the levels that he's abused his drugs?
I think I was watching an interview earlier with Charleston White. I don't know if you guys ever saw him, but he said something about DMX. He said Charleston. This is what Charleston said. He said, I don't feel sorry for DMX. He was like, you know why I don't feel sorry for DMX? Because DMX was a drug addict. The same, just like you in the hood, you see drug addicts on the street. After a while, first you feel sorry for them the first time you see them. Then the third time or the fourth time, and it's like, damn, son, you still leaning? Like, it's like, you're never gonna kick this shit, bro. No matter what I say, what I feel, how empathetic I am towards you, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna change. You are gonna continue to do this, right? So I can see where he says, this is a man with success that average people will never have in life. Financial help. He has friends, he has people, he has all the resources to get better. He said he's been to therapy, he's been to marriage boot camp, he's been to all of these things, all of these opportunities that this man had, and was still dragged down by that drug. And he said, I can't feel sorry for someone that have those things, because he said, I have people in my family that have no help. There's nobody to save them. There's no money. There's no rehab they can go into, because guess what? Some rehabs cost. Most of them probably cost. I don't even know how that, what is the specifics on getting someone into rehab? Who's paying for this?
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
I do feel terribly bad that DMX had to succumb to his drug abuse.
Mhm.
And I actually do feel bad for him. Yes, he abused drugs, and someone else can call him a crackhead, but hey, you know what? He's musically our crackhead. And actually, crackhead is not the word I'm using for DMX, because I think it's degrading, and it strips him from
Absolutely.
the overall person that he was and who he identified as. DMX, whether it's true or not, was given weed at a young age of 14, I believe, by someone who, was his mentor and manager or whatever.
Mhm.
Even though he's come out and deny it, he's influenced the introduction of crack into his life,
Yeah.
and it's kind of just been a downhill spiral. I do think that, because unlike other artists that are introduced drugs while they're in the industry later
Mhm.
on, DMX did a great job trying to fight this addiction, and people have shown all over the world how possible it is to fight off drug abuse, but it's very difficult, especially when it's always there. You are, it's resourceful, and they have the money to maintain the habit.
But that's just, but this is, like I said, DMX is definitely one of my favorite artists. He's probably, not probably, he's part of the reason why I started doing music in the first place.
Wow.
Right. But I'm a realist. I look at reality, not like I remove myself from what I feel for him to what's real. Right. And what I think is real is that
He enjoyed it.
Of course he does. That's why he does it, right? He does it because he enjoys it, right? So we're not even worried about what it does for him, right? This is someone like Charleston said. This is someone with access to all the help the world, not you, can provide. The world can provide.
You have to make a decision.
Anywhere DMX go and say I need help, who isn't going to help him? There are people out here that I see all the time when I get in my car and drive, leaning on the sidewalk. There is nobody to help them. There's nobody to help them. And then we're looking at a man with all the resources that life can provide.
So you were saying that you didn't want this man to play victim.
No, he and I don't think he played victim. I don't think DMX
because he
cared. I don't think I'm good.
He became successful because he didn't play victim though.
Right.
And because
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
words that he was saying out his mouth and being very positive speaking and
I don't think he wanted sympathy or none of that from anyone.
No,
right?
No.
But what I think is, and just to back what Charleston said is, there are billions of people in this world. Unfortunate. I mean, for even a meal, something to eat for the day, they can't even get it. So it's very difficult to look at someone with the support of others to get you straight.
Yeah, it's a lot of demons that he was battling in the music industry
It's not enough of an excuse. We all have demons. We all got problems to deal with. We all suffering through something. And we got to fight through. I don't have all the resources in the world. Literally. God forbid if I woke up tomorrow and I go to the doctor and he said, hey man, you got cancer. I don't even know how I'm going to start dealing with that. I don't even know who to call, who to ask. Nothing. I don't know those answers. We're speaking about someone who had the people to provide the answers, the finances, and the help. So it's very difficult to look in that direction and be like, man, this is sad. No, because there's so many of us who don't have nothing and no one. Rehab. But I love DMX. That is my guy. Don't get me wrong. Don't take what I'm saying as too harsh. And I love X. It's like I said.
No, we're in a safe environment where we all
I do music.
Drop a comment and share our perspectives.
Let's be real
on how we feel. And it's not wrong. It's not. At the end of the day, I consider that too. I think that if you have the resources, you have no excuse to use it. However, it's like, 14 years old. If anybody knows how the body works, it's gonna build no longer even, I wouldn't even say a tolerance. It's just gonna build a need for going back and maintaining that chemical high that is given from these drugs, and it's hard. For those. I feel bad, and I think that we all have to make choices, and
right. I think it's I respect a man for making his choices, and being like, you know what, I fucked up. I did what I did. This is the results of it. Fine, whatever. I think that was DMX's mentality. I made this choice. This is where I'm at. I'm with it. Whatever. Right?
Oh, I don't know about whatever.
Yeah, I don't think
I think it was a constant battle, honestly. The fact
I remember
that even
watching
sometimes when 3 years ago he was he had a near-death experience. I don't think that it was headlined everywhere that is because of it being drug related. We can just assume. Most likely, right? Yeah, but that's my thing. I think that the shame, the integrity that DMX had.
I don't think a man like that has shame. He's not someone that's really worried about shame, right?
Enough to clean up, enough to keep it under wraps to where we're not outright calling him a crackhead.
We didn't even know he was still on drugs.
Exactly my point.
Right? So
he tried. Unfortunately, unlike other artists, I'm actually not going to mention any names, but we've seen their demise up until they passed away. They were like skinny, losing weight.
Yeah.
But
he was too. He's
Yeah,
been
he
through those
looked bad
phases. I
too. Yeah,
remember
he
seeing
had.
DMX really skinny, and I'm like, oh shit, this don't look good. I know what that looked like, you
Mm.
know. But like I said, hey, we don't want to keep
Yeah, it's just
over killing it, but rest in peace,
it was
DMX.
really hard to hear about his
To
passing.
hear
I
about his
really
passing,
thought
yeah.
because he has been hospitalized before that he was gonna pull through.
Hmm.
You want to drop a couple of your favorite songs by DMX?
Yeah. How's it going down? Is definitely my
That's number
favorite
one.
DMX song. Is Dark as Hell and Hell is Hot is my favorite album from DMX.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Belly is my favorite movie for sure. Um, yeah, Exit Wounds is a good one. Romeo Must Die was a good one. Like X has provided
A lot of
so much
entertainment,
entertainment,
art.
motivation.
Mm-hmm. His positive words.
For a person that provided so much motivation for others,
Mm-hmm.
couldn't have that motivation help him,
Oof.
right? But it's just like and this is a little bit stretched, but it reminds me of Jesus, huh? Jesus saved so many people, but when it's his time to go, Jesus couldn't save himself. So it's take that how you guys want to take it, with a grain of salt or a spoon of sugar, however. But rest in peace, DMX. We love you, and
Really cried on this one.
We'll still, I'll listen to X all the time, so
yeah.
I'll still support.
And we hear his music now all throughout the streets and neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's definitely considered a legend, I think, in his own right.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can have a whole hour about X. You know what I mean? But let's jump on to the next topic, guys. We got a little bit dark energy dropped and stuff.
It was a crazy month.
Crazy
oh my
month.
gosh.
Year. This year is out of control. But let's get into some conspiracy, man. Let's get into the bullshit. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Oh.
Y'all taking that?
Did you take the vaccination?
Oh, y'all taking that?
Did you take the J&J vaccine?
What do you think about it?
Right now, as many of us may know up until this point, that J&J, the Johnson & Johnson, also known as Janssen vaccination, has been recalled.
Right.
After being administered for almost 2.5 weeks. There was some research that a lot of the adverse effects that came from the vaccination were too severe to continue to administer, and some of them included brain swelling, blood clots, seizures, and they only reported those being 6 women, but that's actually false. There was actually 35,000 adverse reactions from this vaccination.
Wow,
and
I didn't know that.
It was only highlighted because blood clots to the brain and a condition called, I'm mispronouncing it, but encephalopathy. I'm sorry. It
sounds dangerous to me.
Yes, it's brain swelling, and it's very dangerous. And those are not the only symptoms that J&J was actually causing clients after receiving the vaccination. It was a lot worse, like passing out,
right,
and unable to breathe after receiving the vaccination, and it was directly related to receiving the J&J vaccine. So it's a little bit scary, and I continue to do some research, and the government is standing behind how victims that passed away from the vaccination are not being compensated. So it's just strange, especially for a vaccination that was administered or rolled out to be administered to society at only a 70%. What was the rush if we relied so much more on Pfizer and Moderna? Why did this happen? Seriously,
I think the
fear that people had with the vaccination came true, and that's crazy.
Well, the fear that people had came through with the cheaper and the lesser valued vaccine, right? like I feel like Moderna and Pfizer, um, the fact that those vaccines require 2 shots for you to be good, so they say, um, carries a heavy cost, right? If the government is paying for these vaccines from these companies, and for every citizen in the United States has to get 2 shots, and they have to pay for each dose for each person, that is double the cost than paying for one vaccine for each person if you
Sure.
go via J&J. However, what happens when anyone cut corners? Backlash. Shit will go wrong. And that's what happened when the government say, man, we don't need to pay for 2 vaccines for people no more. Let these people get one. Let these people get one, because they don't care about none of us, right? The people that they cared about got it first. The people that mattered to them got it first. So they say, all right, cool. We already covered everybody. We need to survive and keep shit running around here. Give them that cheap thing over there. Matter of fact, how much does it cost? Oh, 50% less? Sure. Give that out to them. Now that it backfired, it's like, all right, oops, we made a mistake. And they're probably going to go do some more tests and put it right back out, because this government is all about self-preservation and saving money.
Capitalism. Well, it's unfortunate. There's just, again, that's why specifically this segment is the conspiracy.
Right. Everything I said could have been a lie. Who knows?
You know, and it's unfortunate how information can really sway our judgment, our decisions. There's an article saying that Pfizer also had adverse reactions of similar results of as J&J, and it was recalled and then put back in the market after just perfecting it and just doing a little better.
Right.
It's just scary. I mean, to think that as the people, we're just trying to come out with better ways to handle what it is that's happening in our lives with COVID. You know, so we're being told that taking the vaccination is the right thing to do. We should have peace of mind that, you know, the pharmacists and the scientists behind the scenes are just doing their job and ensuring safety on the population. It's just scary. Is this really a form of depopulation by trying to kill the masses through a vaccine, or is this really to protect us from catching this vaccination? There's a laundry list of things that the vaccination doesn't do. It doesn't protect you from getting the vaccination. You can still get COVID, although you're reducing your chances tremendously. We still have to wear masks. We still have to social distance. I mean, you know, it just makes you think, is this vaccination to harm us or safe? And it's still been a question that we were thinking about before it was administered. Then it was rolled out shortly after Biden was put into office.
Right.
Like, how is everything so strategically?
This is the thing about vaccines and cures for diseases. When AIDS came on the scene, I mean, it's still killing people. Not as much now, but it killed millions. You know how crazy that was, right? It started with no cure. We can't do nothing to help none of you, right? To go into, hey, take this cocktail, 16, however many pills some people took, to slow down the
viral load.
Right? It's still going to kill you. It's at a slower rate. Now they have
just one pill
stuff that they say, hey man, take this pill, go have raw sex, and you won't even contract it, or if you have it, you won't even pass it on.
Yeah. Prep.
So knowing that the progression of medicine, this COVID virus and the vaccine is going to take the same, or not, but take a similar progression. That's just what it is, what it's always been. Any disease that ever came had to be studied, tested on, and progress as the years move forward.
This is
no different. AIDS has killed more people than well, not anything else. Cancer has, but AIDS has killed way more than any flu or any other disease, right? And now people can just like take one pill and they straight. They live until they're 80, 90.
But look how long that took to happen.
But it's always gonna take time. It's always gonna take time. So the idea that people think this is something put here to kill, depopulate, then listen, you're not the first people that, if you believe that, you're not the first people they've tried to depopulate. They've been trying to depopulate since Ebola and all the swine flu and all that craziness. If you believe depopulation, trust me, it didn't start with you. You're not the most important people they want to kill. So I don't believe that. I believe it has to take its steps and get to the level where it's either just like it's gone in a week, like a cold does. Because guess what? Didn't smallpox kill the Indians? Like smallpox does nothing to anyone these days. So the progression, it has to happen. When diseases come, people will die. The progression has to occur. It has to, the development of vaccines and cures has to come, but it ain't going to come today. It ain't going to come tomorrow, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, whatever, but it's going to take time. It always has, and it always will. This idea of depopulation is a figment of people's imagination and their beliefs. People want to comfort themselves based on what they believe, and none of them are in those facilities doing anything with no proper information for these claims.
I mean, listen, I'm just shocked and confused and not understanding why there would be a recall, but then it's like recall it so that there's no issue.
It's a process.
However, we really don't know what's going on in these labs. We're not making the vaccinations, and we can only inform and research and educate ourselves. But at the end of the day, if these people have an agenda, they have an agenda. If not, then the agenda is to just preserve life and self-preservation and continue to see how we can reduce the numbers of deaths and go from there. I don't think one of those things where it's 50-50.
Yeah, I don't think it's no this Bill Gates depopulation stuff it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But listen,
drop a comment.
This is conspiracy. Anything I said could be just nonsense. I'm guessing.
Hopefully he's right.
Hopefully I'm right, huh? But drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this J&J and all the COVID vaccine and all the stuff that's going on. Let me know if you guys think you're gonna develop some breathing problems when wearing these damn masks.
Gosh.
Because that's what I want to know. What happens to my lungs from rocking these masks?
How have you been able to work out? Because I know for me, working out at the gym with a mask is like, whoa.
You know what I mean? So let us know what you think on the J&J vaccine. Are you going to take it? Do you think they're trying to kill us? You trying to save us?
Oh my gosh.
And is that mask stifling you, man? You think you'll have some lung problems, mesothelioma? Remember those commercials and shit? Are we going to be worried about that?
You will be compensated.
You know what I mean? So let us know. Put it in the comment. Let's jump on to conspiracy theory number 2. Man, this episode is full of some dark stuff, huh?
But we have to talk about it. This is crazy. This is getting out of control.
Chauvin, killing George Floyd. Today he was guilty on 3 charges, I believe. Second degree,
third degree, and then
second and third degree,
and then second degree manslaughter.
Right. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, how do you feel about
I'm thankful. I think this is not all the way of a win. However, it's one of those situations where we're not going to say his name, but the cop wasn't as valued in society, and they are going to, kind of vindicate George Floyd's family a little bit by having him, guilty and hopefully serve the time in jail.
Life.
Praying it's life because he took another person's life. The footage was very raw and very hurtful to watch and painful to watch. And I can only imagine his family's how their minds, like, and how they are able to still cope. But he needs to serve every moment in jail. And yeah, I'm actually again happy because I think it didn't matter that his status wasn't enough to afford the best lawyers or have the connections to be let off. It's the fact that if he didn't plead guilty or if he was set free, it would just be an uproar in our community, especially as Black people, as the minority. We would be very, 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 very upset because it's just like, what will it take for the government to know what's dead wrong? You know?
I mean, they've always. They know what's dead wrong. Emmett Till was dead wrong. You know, all those hangings. And
we have footage.
All those. Every murder on videotape was dead wrong. Sean Bell's murder was dead wrong. And I can go on, and Breonna Taylor and so on and so forth were all dead wrong. They know what's dead wrong. We know what's dead wrong.
Sure.
What I hope Mr. Derrick spend the rest of his life in prison. Actually, I hope that, soon after being admitted to prison, someone just end him. Get him out of here. You're not a contributing member of society, my man. We don't need you here, so go about your business. And I feel sorry for people like that have children, wives, and so on and so forth, because they have to suffer for that. They got to suffer for that shit that you did. Your kids will always be known as Derek Chauvin's kids. Your wife will always be known as Derek Chauvin's wife, ex-wife, whatever she becomes. They will live with that forever, whether you're alive or dead, my friend. You caused that.
A disgrace.
So, bye-bye. I hope and pray. Life, end them, get them out of here. Let's move forward. However, let's skip past it. That was a little bit dark, but
it's the truth.
Venting,
Yeah, this is what we felt.
This is our podcast. We can vent, please.
It's real. This is what we've been feeling and experiencing, and it's been years. And I can't. I'm happy to see that there's at least a somewhat of justice. Somehow, some way, the government is able to see how the minority and how Black people can unite, come together, and unify on such tragedies.
We have
and
to try,
the power that we have if we withdraw from certain things, like participating or supporting certain businesses, or if we also decide to, take a stance and just say, listen, this is enough. We're not going to accept this.
I think, and like you said earlier, you kind of glazed over it. You mentioned something very important. The only reason this man is guilty because he's a poor white trash, huh?
Yeah.
Poor white trash who did some racist shit that he probably shouldn't have been doing. And he let his emotion get the best of him that day because you knew that.
I bet you he didn't wake up.
You knew him,
thinking that was the way his day was going to end. Yeah, sure. So he knew him.
He knew him personally. Embodied him. So now you made a poor white trash decision. So go to poor white trash prison. I hope you just die there. Fuck him. Anyways, but we have more, huh? Kimberly Potter. Killing Dante Wright. That's another one, man.
Oh my gosh!
You shoot a kid, claiming you were trying to hit him with a taser. Huh? Like you've been on the force for 26 years, something of that nature. Whatever. You've been on the force long enough to know where your taser is and where your gun is. You've been on the force to know. You've been on the force long enough to know how heavy a gun is, how heavy a taser is. Niggas in the streets know the difference between a BB gun and a real one.
The lies.
And you're a cop. You should know that shit. So, you doing that, maybe, let me take it back a little bit. Maybe she was afraid.
But I'm starting to think if the cop was afraid.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think that these cops are probably not even using their guns often enough. and they just feel the need to just want to pull it. Like,
Oh, no.
what is this? Is this a instinct? Is this a
Police officers? Just so the viewers know, police officers, they go to the gun range. Like, they have to do weekly logs. Like, at certain hours you have to have in the gun range. Someone that's been in the force for 26 years, your log is long, lady. You know exactly the weight of your gun. And come on, man, taser. I mean, it's 10 times lighter than a BB gun, bro.
Let's also explore that. Like, the fact that they need to go to the gun range often, it might just be a habit for them at this point. It might be embedded in them often to just want to always pull the trigger, always just practice using the gun.
I think a lot of times it's fear, huh?
Of course.
Because I think, I don't want to be too beating her down, huh? Sometimes you get into a predicament with somebody. Like, for example, you go outside, you have a gun on your waist, somebody approach you. 9 out of 10 times you're gonna, depending on how they approach you, you're probably gonna get upset, right? That altercation can go to a place where it's like, yo, man, I'm tired of this bullshit. You pull out, you clap them, shoot them, huh? A cop is trained to not do that.
Yes.
But I feel like sometimes when people, officers, because they're the ones with the guns, when they're trying to make a decision on what to do next, right? In her mind, she probably feel like this kid is going to do something to me. Well, when she was a kid, was going to do something to me. And it's like, oh, what do I do? And you just grab whatever you grab. If that was the case, and I'm going to bat for you, woman, and I shouldn't. If that was the case, you're still wrong because you're trained 26 years. What do you serve 26 years for? What have you learned, you dummy? Nothing?
Exactly.
So there's no excuses. I tried to make one for you, but I know there's none.
No, there is none. I'm glad you didn't.
So
there's no reason why that 14, 15?
I'm not. I forgot how old Dante Wright was. If you guys know, just let us know in the comments. I forgot his age.
But there's no reason why he should not have been able to come back home to his family.
Yeah, that's a waste of time, huh? And we're dealing with George Floyd, and right after George Floyd, we're dealing with Dante Wright, and then it's going on and on. Then it's a 13-year-old in Chicago, but can't go to bat for him too much. He threw a pistol, huh? So
Breonna Taylor.
I'm not touching that. Breonna Taylor. Let's go. There's situations that are just happening, not stopping. Hopefully, Kimberly Potter gets some time in jail. I mean, she got locked up. They took her in. She paid $100,000 in bond. She's free now, but she has to go to trial and fight this. Hopefully, she gets the same as Derek, and they serve some time. But one more topic. We usually don't go for like.
We have another topic.
Oh, this time. Yeah. We got more for y'all. Love it. Come on, damn it.
Future currency.
Yeah. What's going on with all the cryptocurrency stuff, man?
You tell me.
I have a question.
Okay.
For you before we go deeper into it. Is cryptocurrency going to take over the stock market? Is it going to be favored above the stock market? And when I say that, I mean, are people going to now take their money out the stock market and put it into cryptocurrency? Are people seeing higher financial gains through cryptocurrency than they have on the stock market? What is the future of money? Is it still dollar bills being passed hand to hand, swiping credit cards, debit cards? Or is it, hey, Fee, can I give you some Doge coins? How much money I owe you? 500 Doge coins? All right, I got you. Here you go. Or, what is it going to be?
Definitely think it's going to be cryptocurrency being the new form of currency and exchange. Yeah. Absolutely. Just the same way cash was always the main form and method of, paying for things, as well as writing in your checkbook.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Checks. Yep.
But honestly, look how much a lot of us don't even carry money in our wallets.
Right.
We just have our debit cards, and then that also, I can see that instantly transferring over to just wiring money. We actually do now, like with Cash App and
Apple Pay.
Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Okay, just being now not only cash and tender free, but now we are also
There's digital transfers, huh? I mean, it's like a better way
card
to.
free. Digital transfers.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really what it is. Huh? It's not physical.
Wiring,
it's just
digital
wiring.
yeah.
You know, if you're paying somebody, so digitally, you know, if you're paying, you're buying a piece of candy for $1 and you Apple paid, you just did a digital transfer. You didn't physically pay them, you digitally paid them.
Sure.
So, you know,
so then I think that also does relate with cryptocurrency as well. Like I can definitely see cryptocurrency being the new respectable, and it is already now.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's a big deal.
If I could, trade Bitcoin with you, then absolutely that would be a gift because of the value that Bitcoin has. So, I do think that cryptocurrency is one of those new platforms where it's like money being invented right before our eyes.
And that's the thing that's very important.
Whoa, we're living through this.
You know what I mean? What I like about it the most is that like for us, we only have the US dollar, right? That's no one accepts nothing more than less than
that's universal.
Well, people accept a lot of Tesla's accepting Bitcoin.
Of course.
There's some companies that are accepting Dogecoin as well right now. So I'm saying that to say before we were just used to accepting US dollars. We couldn't give me nothing else. Right? I don't want to border with you. Give me some cash, bro.
Absolutely.
Right? Now it's like, hey, bro, can I pay you in Bitcoin? Can I pay you in Litecoin? Can I pay you in Ethereum? Can I pay you in XRP? Can I pay you in Cardano? Can I, you have all of those different options, and those are that's valid money. It is real money, literally. So you can pay me in Cardano, and I can transfer Cardano to Bitcoin, transfer Bitcoin to cash, or and boom, send it to my bank account, and I'm using that money.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, cryptocurrency, I think, is the future. If you're not on it, get up on it. It's very important you educate yourself on what those things are, what they do, because they're at the infant stages, right? They're babies now.
Definitely.
When those things grow into adults, and I'm just paraphrasing.
No, it's great because we know the value.
When they grow, they're going to be worth something if you're holding them now, and they will be common. They're going to be the things you trade with people. People are doing it now. Like I trade crypto all the time. I buy this, I buy that, I switch this, switch that. And as someone who day trades, I'm starting to feel like I need to take my money out of the stock market.
Oof. I
need to take all of it out the stock market.
Don't be impulsive.
And put it into crypto, because crypto, I'd rather grow with something than be a part of something that's, for example, I'm 30, the US dollar is 300 years old. They have so much time above me. Like the things that the US dollar is doing, I can't compete with. But if I'm growing with crypto, well, at least I'll know the in and outs, right? As it grows,
and my
knowledge grow.
Yeah, they're less likely to have debt.
Right. And
where the US dollar can kind of be a little finicky. It could be finicky because of the debt, and we're indebted to like so many different countries, and but thankfully it's still valued and it still is universally converted. But Bitcoin is worldwide.
Yeah, Bitcoin. I mean, most of the cryptocurrencies travel worldwide. It's just about the conversion of them. Huh? You can have XRP. For example, $500,000 in XRP, and you're like, man, I need to go buy, I don't know, buy a house in Brazil. All right, cool. Let me go to Brazil. Let me go to Brazil. Let me transfer some Bitcoin. Let me try to convert Bitcoin maybe into whatever Brazilian money is, or convert it into Bitcoin into dollars, then convert it into whatever the Brazilian money is. And that all can get done on your phone, on your computer, at your convenience. You're not going to a bank teller. There's no more interruption. You control what you convert, when you convert it. You're going to have to pay some fees. That's another thing people are not telling you guys. Cryptocurrency charge fees. There are different ranges, different prices, but that's another topic for another day. But let's jump into my last topic tonight, video games. It's gonna be real short. I've been doing my stream Underworld Lord. You see that boy back there? That is me. Twitch.tv Underworld Lord Anubis. You can find me there. Sometimes she's there. We just vibing.
I've actually even had my own episode with Crash.
yeah. We're vibing Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 10 p.m. To 2 a.m. But for the video game topic tonight, Resident Evil Village, played the demo. I've always loved Resident Evil. I'm in love with that new demo. I mean, she watched me play it. We was going through the little demo. I mean, that shit is crazy. Scary as hell. Like, I love it. And there's another game called Returnal. I believe it's coming out next week. I don't have the exact date. I'll put it in the description of this episode, but it'll be out soon. So those are my two games for the next month. Preparing for Resident Evil Village, preparing for Returnal. Right now, I'm still currently streaming Cyberpunk 2077. That is my thing, and I'm doing a little bit of Call of Duty with my boys. Okay, so nice. If you want to get involved, you want to chop in, talk, have some fun, say what's up to me, Underworld Lord, Twitch.tv Underworld Lord Anubis, and that's our episode, folks. I am Flo Frazier,
and I am Cyan Fee,
and this is the Frazier House Podcast. Have a good night.
Thanks so much for watching.
Peace, y'all.